Is stress good for you? Is it helpful? Is it useful? Maybe it's motivating. Well, the short answer is no, it is not good for you. But we're going to dive into that a little bit further with a little more detail and nuance for you here today. And hopefully at the end of it, you will be able to examine some of the stressful areas in your life and find some relief and feel better because you deserve to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is Tara and Roxanne. We are here to help you calm your mind so you can enjoy your life. We have in the description below a link for you to download 5 proven ways to reduce your stress. This is our gift to you. It is very, very helpful. One of the 5 of the 5, you never know.
Yep.
Do it today so you can see if you find some relief.
I like number 2.
You like number 2. All righty. So back to, is there good stress?
So the question of the day.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, but I have heard this a lot. Needless to say, we've talked about stress for years with people, and I hear that a lot. I heard that verbatim. I wouldn't get out of bed without it. Nothing would get done, right?
That can't be good.
No. I think there's just, there's probably a fundamental misunderstanding of what stress is compared to other emotions and emotion processes that we have. Also, I think we normalize it. We normalize it and just think it's good for us, and it's doing a lot of harm. And you look around and you're going to see it everywhere you go. So it is a super common belief, though.
It is. I've heard that many times.
Yeah.
I think exactly what you said. There's a conception that stress is an important component, and what it is as we were just discussing, it's not really stress. It's more motivation,
pressure,
or,
like an excitement.
Yes,
you can be super excited and you can't even eat. It's not stress,
right?
Yeah,
right.
It's different, right? So, but I will say, just because I know somebody's probably thinking, kind of write it in the comments, which is great. Stress makes diamonds.
Oh.
Which is not true. Pressure makes diamonds.
Oh.
Right?
Look at that.
Right? You put pressure on coal, you're going to get diamonds. You put stress on it, you're probably just going to little rocks. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Take that for it today.
That's it. We're
done. Let's break this down. What is actually stress? Go ahead.
Stress, right? Stress is anything that, it's something you can't control. Right. I mean, you can control whether you have stress or not. Don't misquote me on that. But stress is something that comes in your body viscerally because due to something you can't control or you need to be different because it's a fear response, ultimately, is what it is. So let's say you're afraid that people are going to find out how insecure you are or that you have a flaw. And you've been, working really hard to make sure that you present a certain image. And this is a small one. Obviously, I'm just using it as an example. And then they're about to find out you're stressed that they're going to figure that out. That was a horrible example.
But what about like work? I've got this big presentation I'm preparing. I feel all this pressure and this stress. Pressure.
Stick with the pressure. For example, if you're about to do something that's people would call stressful, do something new, something you might fail at, something you might be exposed for. You're really stepping out of your comfort zone. You're stepping out of your box. You're going to be a new parent. You're preparing something at work, like I said, that's going to actually motivate you up or kill your career. Or dating, your kids growing up, all these things. Maybe you're going to jump out of an airplane. Would you ever do that?
Nope.
No. Okay.
We talked about this. Nope.
I'm
not an airplane jumper.
That's right. I forgot. But you're going to do something new, very exciting.
Sure.
It's not stress, it's pressure. And a lot of people perform better under pressure. Yeah. I'm a little bit better. I never wanted to admit that or believed it, but I am better with the deadline. And when I have a deadline and things need to get done, usually I can focus and rise to the occasion. If I have a week, it's probably going to take a week.
It's good to know with you.
Yeah. Does that mean I live on the edge of stress? No, it's pressure though. It's
sure.
Okay. Well, yeah. So now I need to hammer in and get focused, and then it's over. So you fill up with like adrenaline, and then when it's over, you get this rush of dopamine. You're like, yes, I conquered it. I mastered it. I did it. Even if I came in last, I finished. I kept that my commitment to myself. I followed through. I am the queen of the world. Right? There's this
feeling.
Yes.
Got it.
When something is stressful, just stressful, and you're worried somebody's not going to do something a certain way or whatever that is, I feel like I'm trivializing people's chronic stress, and that's not at all what I'm doing. But if for those of you who, like me, had debilitating chronic stress, there is no logic for it. There's no, it just is. It builds and builds and takes over. And you can't, it's like nailing Jello to a tree. You can't identify it. So I just want to briefly explain why I'm having a hard time coming up with such a significant, powerful example without feeling like I'm trivializing, because I'm not. It's crazy, and I get that for a lot of people. So I'm not trying to act like looking a certain way is a big hairy deal. People have bigger problems than that, but it's not significant. Anyway, it's nothing you can put your finger on. It's just all consuming. But point is, there are situations you have to go to work. You have to that for my friend who said, "Oh, I wouldn't get out of bed and go to work. Nothing get done without it." That is just a that's a pressure. I don't know how else to say it. So now I'm just babbling.
No, it's a pressure. I agree with you.
Yeah.
So a person wouldn't technically really want to examine your own personal pressures, stress, and you really want to dissect it, sort of. That's kind of a technical term, but you really want to look it over and really look at it, because like a chronically ill parent that you're caring for, he's not going to go anywhere. That's going to be a certain kind of stress or pressure.
And that can also be broken down.
Mm-hmm.
So both of us have had parents pass.
Mm-hmm.
And so please know that we're coming from a place of understanding and not just trivializing. Absolutely. Like someday when that happens, I'm sure I'll know how I feel. This is coming from real places, but overall stressful. And then we stop there. We go, we're just stressed because this is happening and everything around it. So I suggest, and I've had two parents pass and did it in differently both times. What is it? What is the stress? Is it what to do with how to handle their business while they're being cared for? Is it how to tell the children how to heal the part of you that is now doesn't have a parent, the little girl, I think it's beneficial to break those down and find out what your needs are and where your power is within each thing. Because power is the antithesis of stress.
Wow.
Right? You can't be stressed and empowered. You can be pressured, you can be motivated, you can be excited, you can be a little anxious, and you could be a little, but stress is needing something to be different than it is. But it's beyond your control. So I need you to be different. I need this situation to be different. I need, the doctors to do something differently. I need them to tell me she's going to be or he's going to be fantastic. I need these things, and they're beyond my doing. And so it creates stress. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So, yes, does it suck? Is there grieving? Absolutely. Is there sadness and all of the feelings? And you may touch on depression and all of these things. But the stress is the out of control. So break it down. What do I need? What needs to be done right now? And what am I feeling about each one of these? And where's my power within it? And sometimes, like we talked about, it's just release and saying, I'm just going to have to let that go.
Right.
That one, not the feeling, not the caring, none of that. The need for it to be a certain way. You're just gonna have to kind of release and go, I can hope and pray and that's all I can do, but I can control this over here.
Right.
And
and that's that. Look at your life and look at the things out of your control and the things you can change. Right. Or if a job is bringing you tremendous stress that is spilling off onto your family, what have you, maybe take a look. Is this job worth it? Is that really good for me?
Or am I making it harder than it has to be?
That's true too.
That's something that I have found myself to do.
Giving more than you should, or not balancing your life.
Or yes, absolutely. No, I didn't mean or, and. And sometimes you just you get wrapped up in it a little bit. Some of our identity becomes in our stress and what we're doing, and we tend to martyr ourselves out, like we talked about before.
Yeah.
And that's a real thing, because I'm valuable. I do all this stuff. I'm killing myself for them. Therefore, I'm valuable. And if I don't, maybe I can be replaced. Well, I got news. You can be replaced either way. Right? There's always somebody right behind you. Of course. So you have to value you, because if we're waiting for somebody else to do that, they're not going to. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about today.
But it was helpful information.
But it's helpful. But yeah, so we have to look at it. Is the stress self-created? That's the first question. And that was the hardest one for me personally, because it's so easy to go, that one's causing me stress, and the government's causing me stress, and my husband's causing me stress, and if people and these kids would just stop, and you know what I mean.
Oh, I do know what you mean.
That? You're so sweet. I can't imagine.
No, I do. I can make something bigger than I need to.
Okay. So owning your part in whatever it is that's stressful in your area right now, in your life, I mean,
Right.
If you go, am I making this more than it is? Answer is probably. Not completely, but to some degree, there is some power there. So you can find immediate relief right there. And is this something I have to do, and can I reframe it? Kind of a thing. I did that when I first started 12 years ago or something. My first job I was given by my coach was to reframe what I had to do. We've talked about this before. The have tos to get tos. And I swear I did dishes, I don't know, 12 out of 24 hours a day. I swear. Even my son in kindergarten, he put, what does your dad do? He goes to work. What does mommy do? Dishes. He put that. I have it like in this little box. And so I was like, these guys, like, I'm not the only one that eats off this plate. He said, this kind of thing. And it became a stress. I'd look at it and just go, oh, there's more in there. And then I changed it into gratitude. And I know this seems like an oversimplistic thing, but it's baby steps. And I was so mired in stress, and it was affecting me physically, and it was so all-consuming. The baby steps are what I needed to do. So this might sound overly simplistic.
No.
But it was, I am lucky enough to have hot water, because I was homeless at a time and I didn't have that. And so I go, oh, you know what? This is definitely a first world problem, that I do dishes. The soap is right there. My legs can hold me, right? I have the dexterity in my hands to be able to do that. I have the home to do it in. My kids are laughing and playing in the other room, safe, fed, and I'm complaining about what? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I was like, I actually have a home, and to get to do dishes in, a body that allows me to perform that task, and a beautiful family who is eating healthy food that I was able to provide off those plates and things that allowed me. So I had to clean up after. I mean, if any one of those things would be gone, it would be horrible. So what a
great way to reframe all of that.
Right, right. So you got to see, where is it the dishes that were stressing me out, the family, the fact? No, it was my
own
perception on it. So first thing, look at every area of your life and say, am I making this stressful? Because you might be. And sometimes, and in which case, don't beat up on yourself. You're not wrong. It's just there's this pervasive thing that stress is good, and look at all the stress I have, and then people feel sorry for you, they give you attention, or they match it, and you bond over complaining about stress.
No more.
We kind of got off on that, but and then second thing is, when you're looking at it, ask maybe, is this just pressure? Is this excitement?
Right.
Would I end it if I could? That's a really good question.
Or will it end? Like a wedding, like a birth,
Right.
It eventually will.
It's like you have a beautiful daughter who's getting married, right?
I do.
Yeah. And the closer the wedding comes, the more stress it could be.
Right.
If you think about it. But if how I help identify stress is, would I end this if I could? Sometimes with jobs, it's yes. Mm-hmm. If I could afford it, I would be out of here. Mm-hmm. That's when okay, I need to reframe my thought within this, because I can't leave. And you feel trapped, which is probably part of the stress, right? But if you're getting stressed out over a new pregnancy, a new addition to the family, or wedding, which is a very exciting, life-changing time in everybody's lives. All of these things, is it stress? Or ask yourself, would I cancel this if I could? This is horrible. This is stressing me out. No, then it's excitement. It's pressure.
Exactly.
It's
nervousness, anxiousness. It's
Yes.
getting confused with stress.
and enjoy that, because there's a huge payoff. And here's another way you can tell. The payoff at the end, kind of like we talked about with pressure, is that you get that relief and that rush of dopamine, which we all love, right? Why do people take dope? Get that feeling. So, I mean, we actually seek out or situations that are going to make us we watch movies that we go, yes, they won,
They
won,
won.
and she crossed the finish line, whatever. So we actually seek out those kind of experiences so we can feel that and have that relief. So that's not bad. You don't want to be a robot or numb.
No.
You want these things, right? Stress does not give you that relief at the end. When something is super stressful to you and your mind's decided it's this thing and you're stressed, when it ends, the only relief you get is that stress goes down. So you get to go from this to, okay, I can breathe. Not a rush of dopamine. You don't get a big serotonin hit. No oxygen. You get nothing. You get, okay.
You can exhale.
Okay. And then the next thing comes. Your mind starts to go, okay. Like a little filing cabinet. On to the next one. You're like, okay, but what about this? Now I have to figure out, and it becomes a chronic habit. So
That's
is it a habit or is it a one-off thing? So we kind of got off track here.
Okay, back on track.
But it's okay. I mean, it is what it is. The point is, I think there's a real common, very common
Yes.
misconception, we think.
There's confusion. There's lots of room for confusion on what you're feeling, if it's stress, if it's
Excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Pressure.
I think it's
That'd be
really
another good
critical
word
to
for that.
do some self-discovery on how you're really feeling about things.
Yep. But there is a way to break the cycle and to find some lasting peace. And that doesn't mean to be dormant and just sit and go, everything's great. I can't even imagine being like that because I'm too wound up too tight. But you can experience all the good emotions, the excitement, the anticipation, the nervousness. Is it going to make it? Is it going to work? It's going to work. Yes. Or, ooh, no. And you can handle that either way. That's life. That's the roller coaster.
Sure is.
It doesn't have to be stress, because stress is not good for you. Stress generates the cortisol, and then it gets in your body, and it affects the way you perceive things. It affects the way you communicate with people, the way that you interact with them. You're always kind of looking for something bad to happen, another shoe to fall, because you're just like on the edge all the time. Because one more thing and you're done.
Right.
Like one more thing and somebody's going through the wall. So you can't have one more thing. You can't handle anything. I'm handling everything I can. It's not good.
It's not good.
Yeah, do you like my little physical?
I did.
I just kind of got back to that groove again. It's very taxing on your muscles and just your whole.
It is
Your whole
very
body.
taxing
Yeah.
physically.
Anyway. So in addition to asking you to, so we were all over the place. I was. You're great. She's always great. I'm always all over
We both were.
the place. So write down what areas of your life you're feeling the most stress. Seriously, this is worth doing. And then look at it and go, where am I contributing or framing it in a way that's causing more stress? Maybe because there's a belief that stress is good. And so if you think you're not stressing out, maybe you think you don't care enough. Maybe you think you're not vested enough, or you're not paying your dues, or any of that. I don't know what kind of crap people, well, it's all stuff I used to say. So I'm not going to pretend like I don't know what it is. But after it takes me a second to get back in that space. Where I
Good.
can, so
Don't
I
want
can
to go back there.
regenerate the right feelings. But you know what I'm talking about if you're doing it. So first, stop it. No. But really look at it and go, oh, some of this might be self-produced. And you can start to reframe that within yourself. And that is an inside job.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then stop and think, is there stressful things? Now, like she mentioned, the job, that's a big one. We all have to work, right? We have bills to pay. We have to pay for the water so we can do our dishes, right?
Right.
So,
Thankfully.
yeah, right. So, is there a way you can reframe it? Is there changes you can make? If not, is there another where you can go? Because even just looking for a different job and seeing what's out there and exploring your options is empowering. And when you do something that's empowering and proactive, your stress will automatically decrease. Will it go away? No. Is it 100% problem solver? No. But the more power that you exercise, the more stress can't live in the same space, right? The more relief you're gonna feel, because you can't feel super powerful and beaten down by stress at the same time. It's impossible. So,
Okay.
yeah. And then of course we have the guide.
We have the
Right.
guide.
And this is good.
It is good. It's the 5 proven ways to reduce your stress. You will find that link down below.
Yes.
Really a gift from us to you. Give it to yourself, truthfully.
Yep.
And remember, we are here to help you calm your mind so you can enjoy your life.
Thank you. See
Be
you
well.
later.